What's up, Starcraft fans? Today we're doing a tier list for Resilient Rifts on Rifts to Core Hall. Brian, let's hear the mutation.
Rifts to Core Hall is the map where we have to destroy 10 void shards before timer runs out. Each set of void shards we destroy adds time and reveals the next set. Void rifts spawn every 90 seconds, starting at 2 minutes 20 seconds. Each rift continuously spawns new enemies until destroyed. Each enemy revives once upon being lost.
So a lot of enemies here and they have double life. We have Twotuuu and Herman in the call with us. How are you guys today?
Great. Just wake up. Yeah.
Just woke up. I'm about to go to bed. Herman, how will we rank the commanders this week?
Well, so there's Warrior and Just Dice. So this map is quite special though. This map isn't really hard in general, but with these two mutators, the early game pressure is quite big actually. So
Yes.
like 2 minute is the first attack wave, and 220 is the first wave of Void Rift.
Void
So
Rifts.
yeah, the early game is just a lot of pressure, and if you can pass the early game and like snipes the rifts, like just be able to snipe all the rifts, and it won't be a big problem for most commanders though. So just the commanders that can snipe rifts far away and have a good early game won't be a big problem.
How about you, Twotuuu?
The rifts are number one here because if you let them live for 30 seconds, they will spawn a mini wave. And if there are many rifts left alone, it's like another attack wave. And those enemies, they get more and more difficult, and they have 2 lives. So
Yes.
it's in your best interest to be able to snipe the rifts as quickly as possible.
Let's begin. Abathur, where do we have him?
So Abathur has a problem with Just Die, since it'll take twice as long to get his first Brutalisk. And if you're fighting against Terran, then you might have trouble accumulating 100 biomass before 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Even if you get it's like sometimes you get like really close, and then because of a miss micro or something, if you don't get the Brutalisk by 220, then you're gonna die, and
that's
your
a long
spines
shortcut.
aren't gonna hold. You don't want to use Toxic Nest to kill the trickles from the rifts.
Yes.
Once he survives the early game, though, he can take care of rifts almost
Easily.
instantly.
Almost
Yes,
instantly.
very. I recommend using the second prestige, Tunneling Horror, so that you can get some Swarm Hosts, because Swarm Hosts with 100 biomass can hold off enemies for a while. Then after you get a few Swarm Hosts, then you get Leviathans. You don't need Leviathans until the third area, which is when you want to transition into Leviathan plus Guardians or Devourers, and just keep the Swarm Hosts in the center.
Ladder.
So for ladder, I give Abathur a B, because his early game is extremely rough.
That's not so bad. How about you, Herman?
Yeah, Abathur early game, I mean, with Just Die. Terran is probably the AI you don't want. If it's Zerg, you only need the biomass from the first area. And if Portals is not that hard, but Terran is just the worst.
Terran is the worst. I'm glad
Yes,
we agree.
always. Yeah, I agree with E tier. Everything to that is
So you
definitely
B?
what I want to say.
I
Yeah.
actually initially had him in B, but I heard the part about Terran. I actually demoted him to C, but both of you said B, so I'm okay with B. Don't use the first Prestige Essence Hoarder. You need Ultimate Evolutions to get to the Rifts really fast. And don't use the third Prestige, the Limitless, because you will never get a Brutalisk. You'll just become not a thing. Let's continue. Alarak, where do we have him?
So for Alarak, P3 is quite essential.
Essential.
If you don't have Mothership, it's definitely not the same. It's definitely not the same game for Alarak. So
100%.
you can have your Mothership at like 235, and you have your first overcharge to deal with attack wave, or you can use it to deal with one rift, depends on you. And it's just like mass destroyers, and but I mean the enemy have 2 lives, so like destroyers won't be able to kill the enemy that fast. So I think he is also B tier for this week.
How about you, Twotuuu?
His early game is extremely strong, assuming third prestige. If you're not using the third prestige, then this will not apply, because he can't get a mothership until 10 minutes with the other prestige, and it's a
Mothership
call
is
down.
essential.
Yes, so you have to have the third prestige, otherwise he's like E or F, maybe not that bad, but he's much lower. So Mothership and Overcharge will take care of the early games. Then you need hit squads, small squads of 4 to 5 destroyers to target any rifts that spawn near them. So you place them in different positions around the map, and you'll be able to get whatever rifts spawn
quickly.
But you must pay attention to. You probably want to have them on different control groups and remember which ones.
Also unbind F2. Just unbind
I
it.
put Alarak in B as well.
Both of you said B, so let's have him in B. Arcturus, where do you have him?
He's good on Rifts to Core Hall because he has the ESO island area. Not really an island, but in this northern part between the third and fourth areas, there's a place where you can place ESOs, and you can basically kill the second, third, and fourth sets of objectives easily. However, early game, you want to actually rush an eBay and get the drop upgrade so that you can quickly... Well, you don't have to, but you if you want, you can drop 2 explodey guys. With the third prestige, you can drop 2 of them, and then like the explosions will kill the rifts. Assuming like you're fighting a Zergling or a Zealot, and then the explosion targets them, you'll kill the rifts early on. But since there's no Minesweeper, actually you don't have to do that. You can have like a little army. Hopefully you can kill at least one of the rifts. So as long as you have enough bunkers to defend against the trickles and attack waves, you should be all right. So he's pretty good, and he can clear this pretty fast. So I put him in A.
How about you, Herman?
I think you don't need to build ESO at the Call Island. Like you can just build ESOs probably in your base, and so I mean you definitely don't want to build them that early. You still want to just be able to deal with all the rifts and definitely upgrade the drop upgrades for troopers, and so that you can just drop them on the rifts. I don't think you need ESO that early. Just like build them after you are able to deal with everything.
Yeah, once you stabilize.
I know. I'm not sure if he can be A tier though. I think the like May's early game pressure is quite big actually for Misk. I'm not sure if I'm able to put him in A.
So where do you have him?
I think he is like the top for the B tier.
Okay, what do you think, Twotuuu?
I guess depending on enemy comp, you might have some trouble. Although you can spare like a few seconds to turn your attention to them. And before they get really strong, you can ESO some of them. You don't even need to know the contaminated strike timing to stop them, although that would be really helpful. If early game, I guess it does depend what enemy you have, like enemy comp you're facing.
Yeah.
Because if you're fighting like Zerg and you don't have a wall, they're gonna overrun you.
Yes.
And so if you're fighting Zerg, you need to wall off. If you're fighting against like either one of the other twos, you need like enough people repairing, and you probably want to wall anyways, so Zealots don't surround your bunkers.
Yes.
I guess the early game is not as strong since you don't have as many troopers.
Yeah, you need to build a wall. You need to find a way to deal with the early void rifts. That makes sense. But once you stabilize the early game, it's pretty strong. But as we've established, early game is quite important because you need to have enough to deal with the first wave, which is the earliest null of co-op, and also the void rifts. So where do we have them?
B, top of B.
I'm okay with B also.
Yeah, it's not unreasonable to me.
So 3B so far. Artanis, where do we have him?
Artanis, well, since early game is quite essential for this mutation, I really recommend using T3 for this one, for this mutation. Just imagine like if you use 0 and you have like 2 Dragoon and some Zealot for the first attack wave and the first rift, and you only have 1 orbital strike, and if the AI is like Lurgling or something, you probably just die. Yeah, so I really recommend using P3. But if you're using P3, you need to use like probe to get vision. To get vision in advance, so that you definitely don't want to waste your 5 big archon on a single rift. You definitely don't want that. Even though P3 is really strong in the early game, but late game is still a big question for Artanis. You probably want to transition to Compass to just to attack the third third and fourth part. Because if you just use dragoons, you keep losing dragoons and probably cannot have enough to deal with the void rifts. So it's a really hard game for Artanis. So I think I give him a D tier probably. Yeah.
D tier? Okay. When we say Tempest, we don't mean push the front with Tempests. You want to go around the side, like push the far west edge of the map, go north with your Tempests, and just shoot the shards and the defenders from there. And then keep going north, and then once you hit the end of the third set of shards, you go north, east to the fourth set, and just again chip away at their defenses from the sides. You pick them off a few at a time using your Tempests, and you just keep shooting the shards until there are no more shards. You don't need to go through the brunt of their defenses. Just go around the side and delete their defenses and the shards using your Tempests. You probably also want to use your solo bombardments on the, I'm guessing, the second shard. By 5 minutes, the enemy will send a second attack wave. So you want to line it up so that when the enemy wave crosses the base where the second set of shards is, you run a zealot in, you drop soul bombardment on that base where the enemies will walk through, and you'll destroy the defense and the attack wave at the same time.
I think C, yeah.
How about you, Twotuuu?
I'll say that doesn't work because they're gonna lose one life and then they're gonna run through. So I would rather use shield overcharge and kill the first liver, not first shard. Use shield overcharge so that you can hold them there because there are fewer enemies. Use shield overcharge with zealots to hold them in place while you kill the first shard and the attack wave.
Alright.
Because if you try to do the shield overcharge and go into the second base, you're gonna die. Like there's so many enemies there, you're gonna die. But anyways, the early game, like it's like a guessing game, and if you don't spread out enough, you might not make it to the void rifts in time to drop your Archon dudes and defend the attack waves.
Yeah.
So without that, like by doing that, you're sacrificing econ because you need to move probes and they're not mining.
Yes.
Later on, depending on the attack waves, the enemy comp, you might have to you don't want to spend all your Archon dudes on that. You're gonna have to also later on you use Archon dudes just to hold attack to fight attack waves. But yeah, you're gonna also have to spread Tempests around to take care of rifts because just spreading observers, you're not gonna want to use Archon dudes to kill rifts later on. I think C is fine because early game is okay and mid game it's doable. He can do his part.
All right, all of us agree that Artanis goes to C this week. So there we go. Dehaka, where do we have him?
Dehaka's early game is actually not very good. Because they have 2 lives, you're gonna have to spend more time leveling up.
Yes.
And if you get surrounded or something, you're going to lose Dehaka. You don't want that. If your warden is in the wrong place, the rift's gonna stay alive, and if the rifts stay alive, Dehaka will get overwhelmed really fast.
Yes.
Once you pass the early game, you can start making impalers to kill the rifts, and then you'll have greater primal worms to get the far ones, but you need to send a mutalisk or something to see them first. Then for the third area, you use creeper host. Third and fourth areas, use creeper host snipe. Because of the rough early game, you have to be on top of your macro plus micro and not get surrounded and everything. So I put Dehaka in C.
D. How about
C.
you? How about you, Herman?
Okay. I saw if we can use P3, like the early game is probably better, but it's still a lot of pressure though because P3 there are 2 Dehaka, they will split assets.
Yeah,
and
so it's even more taxing.
yeah,
You get double the
even more
firepower,
tax.
but double
Yeah,
the micro tax.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. But I think P3 is probably good early game, but not that good though. It still have disadvantages. But I mean, well, if you can even survive the early game, you just cannot win though. So maybe you can use P3, or if you don't want, you can still use P2. I think all the strategies that Twotuuu said is all correct, and I just want to point out. So I think it's around 11 minutes or 6:30. You might want to use your mover at the second part. So when you use Morovar, you can actually like manually control the locusts. Like you can just let them fly around. So that it can provide some vision. Especially you can let them fly through
So you can send the
fly.
locusts out to give you vision.
Yeah.
It's really
You can
cool.
fly it. You can fly some locusts to the wait, what's that? To the southeast part, and
Southeast
so that
part.
you can get some vision. And then because like 820 is the
Yeah,
is
820. The
for the
first
four.
spawn of 4
But
rifts.
yeah. So you definitely want more vision, so you can use your greater primal worms to just be able to spawn there and kill the rift. I think C is Dehaka this week.
All right, actually, a Dehaka A. My goodness, I did not factor in how much more taxing it would be to fight Vortis with double life enemies. So I'm okay with C. Prestige wise, which one do we recommend? Would any of them be fine?
I would say P2 is better.
All right.
But P3 is not bad. I don't think any of them are like bad.
So yeah, use the one you're more comfortable with, I guess. But the second prestige, the primal contender, is stronger with the pack leaders themselves. So that's probably the recommendation. So C for Dehaka. Phoenix, where do we have him?
Phoenix. I still recommend using T2. It's like Lone Wolf, but it's definitely not Lone Wolf. So early game you have Caldalis and Talis, which is quite strong actually. But he is kind of dependent on AI, because if AI is like air, your anti-air isn't that good.
Not that robust.
Because the enemy have 2 lives though, so it's not that good since Caldalis cannot attack air. But I think for most AI he is fine. Talking about void rifts, you can split. I think you can split your Caldarian and your carrier. It's like Larian or something.
Polarian.
Calarian. You can split these two, and I think for your Caldalis and Talis and the Warbringer, these 3 are the main for pushing. Because like if they die, you just regroup the new champions. But it's actually a lot of work.
Yes,
You
a lot
need
of work.
you need to be top of everything. Yeah.
So letter.
I think I can give him a B tier. Yeah,
B.
because his early game. Yeah, his early game is fine though.
Okay,
Yeah.
how about you, Twotuuu?
I guess early game is strong. Mid game, if enemy has air, it's kind of rough.
Yeah.
Because like normally against air, he's not very good. But if they have 2 lives, you gotta fight them twice. And if there are a lot of them, like some of your units will not be doing much. I recommend P2 as well. So what I did was once I got my econ going, I started spreading cannons so that like especially at my natural, I just put like 4 cannons, and if a rift shows up, it's probably gonna die. And I put Caldalis in his own group. I learned how to snipe the rifts with just Caldalis, where you put a conservator and then you go to the area to the right for the second set. You go to the blank area to the right of the shards, and then you use the arbiter suit. You teleport a bunch of legionnaires plus Caldalis plus the conservator, and you just Caldalis right click shard and repeat until both are gone.
Is
You
that
just do that.
spot? Is that spot the one between the right one and the second set? The base where the second bonus objective is, and the pathway where the attack waves come from.
It's
That
at
spot?
the intersection.
Yeah,
It's at
that intersection. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. All right, so continue.
Then for the third set, I used Phoenix Zealot suit. You can press Q to like slide across that gap, and then you walk to the top left corner, and you do the same thing. You like make your way to the top left corner, switch to the Arbiter suit, and then do the same thing. So I have like Warbringer, Mojo, and Talus in one group to fight the enemies in the center. Caldalis doing objectives. Kalolarian and Taldarin are elsewhere fighting
That's a lot
like
of
rifts. Yeah,
Letter.
so just those groups. I think B, because its early game is fine. You want to rush the AOE upgrade. His early game is, I wouldn't say it's great though, because you might run out of shells. I got the Immortal and the Zealot right away, and I didn't get Talus till a bit later.
What if it's
But I put
air?
him in C. Yeah, I put him in
Ooh.
C because if his mid game, like if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're not gonna be able to do the objective normally. You're not gonna go up the middle. It takes way too long.
Interesting. What do you think, Herman?
Well, things enemy have lives. Like the usual way we boost to the second part, the second set is to use our top bars, like just overcharge our Dragoon and probably just kill everything. But since the enemy have 2 lives, yeah, it's definitely not the thing here.
Didn't we do this thing before where if a commander has an option to do a very tricky strategy, they would have a higher ranking here, but a star on their face to signify that it's only that rank if you know what to do. Can we have that? Can we have Phoenix's B star here? Or is he really that specific that he's C unless you really know your stuff?
I would say he's more C because of the fact that if you get air, you're just in trouble. Whereas
That
like,
makes sense.
he's more comp dependent than the others. It's more comp dependent. Plus the early game is not free. Like whereas like Mothership, it's like you easily survive it. But the first one is not, because if you don't leave both rifts alone, you might start taking a lot of damage.
All right. Okay. So, all right. Are we all okay with C then?
Okay, yeah, I'm okay with C.
All right, that's fine. Okay, now here's the one. Here's my guy, Hot and Horner. Where do we have him?
I haven't played this one yet. Han and Horner, they're not bad because they can snipe rifts, and the early game they can get 2 galleons. I recommend using the second prestige because you want to make lots of air units to snipe the objectives later. The early game, depending on what the first wave is, it might be a little more difficult because they have 2 lives, but you can take care of the first rifts pretty easily, and then if you get enough platforms, you can snipe the rifts really easily and just pick off trickles. So they can survive the early game to mid game pretty easily and then start massing up air units.
Yes.
So I put them I don't think they're A though, because depending on what enemies you're fighting, you might have some trouble fighting like with just galleons and mag mines. So I put them in B, like decent.
How about you, Herman?
Okay, so for Han Horner, I think I will put him in A if the bug for Magmine still exists, but actually not. So like the Magmine deal with like just die enemy is quite not that efficient because like you can't kill the enemy that fast, and actually for this week like I think you want to kill the like for the first rift, so you have 1 SCV to provide vision, and you can drop like two set of mines to kill the 1 rift, and the other one you have Galleon plus alien. So and after you do with all the shard, you can then put down your mag mines, because you don't want like the trickles to like go to the ramp and just trigger all your mag mines. You definitely don't want that. Like two links triggers 10
Your entire
mag mines,
minefield.
and
That's kind of
you
feels
definitely
bad,
don't want
man.
that.
All right.
But like for like mid and late game, once you have like all the platforms, all the strike fighters, Void Rift's just not a thing anymore, and you just need to deal with like one unit from each rift. So like maybe a Zeratul or probably 2 links or probably a Marine, and from each one. So like in late game it's like a 4 Zeratul.
Yeah.
But it's not that big problem though. You have enough army for that, and use P2 please, and just mass race or battle cruiser to deal with the objective.
Yeah, just snipe the objectives. You don't have to punch through the middle. It'll be kind of almost like a Nova sort of thing later on. You don't have to go through the main route. You just have to snipe the objectives from the sides using your air units. So yeah, what do you have them?
So I think I can put Han Horner in the top B.
Top of B. I did have Han Horner in A, but both of you say B, so let's have him B. Kerrigan, where do we have him?
Oh, Kerrigan, man. she has close to nothing for the
Yeah.
first set of rifts and
Nothing.
its first attack waves, because like you can make a lot of spines, but
They won't do.
that's-
They won't do much.
you're gonna get run over, because if you don't kill a rift, the mini wave that comes at 250 there plus the attack wave will reach
Like-
your base around the same time. The 250 wave will reach your base a little bit later, but you're probably already bleeding.
Even
So
a
you need
regular
lings.
brutal. Even a regular
Like,
brutal.
Yeah.
Set of Reapers on the first wave has a solid chance of destroying anything you have for defense. That's without mutators.
So if you use like Zerglings, you can probably get one of the rifts, but if you can't, like, you still have to survive against the other one.
Yeah, and attack
the good
wave.
thing is once Kerrigan is out, then you can do a lot. Like, but immobilization wave doesn't clear an entire area because it only takes out one life.
Yes.
So that sucks too.
Yes.
So because the early game is so important and her early game is so terrible, I put her in D, but I'm not surprised if someone says E.
It won't be me. How about you, Herman?
She is really bad for this week. Yeah.
D?
So yeah.
Does it matter which prestige we use? Just not the first
You
one?
should use 0.
Oh, no
Yeah,
prestige.
she used P0.
Okay, so Queen of Blades. No
More
prestige.
mobility.
That makes
more
sense.
mobility.
Alright, so we all agree on D?
Yes, C is fine though.
Alright, poor Kerrigan. It was unanimous D. Nova, where do we have him?
Nova. So P1 and P3 are like two different ways to play Nova for this week. But the first pressure you're gonna face is it's definitely 220 plus the 2-minute attack wave. If you are using P1, you can have your Marines at like 230, I guess. So it's like you keep using defensive drones to hold
alive.
to try to stay alive. But it's better than some spines.
It's better than dying.
It's definitely better than spines. Yeah. And you wait until 4 minutes your Nova spawns, so you can sabotage drone 1, and then you change to assault mode and
delete the other.
You can deal with the other 3. Yeah, and or you can help your Marine first. Yeah. And you want to get the globe upgrade for Banshees early on, so that you can have your Banshees to be able to to be the hit squad to snipe the rifts. And basically I think you need like 3 set of Banshees to be able to snipe all the rifts. And then you can start just deploy liberators to deal with objectives. But the early game, it's just like a lot of pressure though. If you're using P3, well, you Nova, you can use it to deal with like rifts far behind the map, and you can also use Nova to sabotage the main objective. But you need to deal with rifts first.
All right.
Overall, I think Nova is like it's like the C tier.
D tier
For me.
How about you?
C tiers?
Yeah. Mostly that's pretty much what I was thinking. Like you can drop a set of Marines on one of the rifts. If they're both near each other, then you can kill both. But if they aren't, then you probably kill one set of rifts and go home and just survive. Hold on for dear life until assuming that you're not fighting like vultures or something. You hold on for dear life until Nova comes out. The early game is extremely rough, and if you don't manage it well, then you might not be able to get to the mid-late game where she dominates the map with liberators.
Yes.
So I think C is reasonable because the early game is rough, but later on it gets a little better.
Actually, I had Nova in B, but C sounds perfectly fine. We'll put it in C. Raynor, where do we have him?
Raynor's probably gonna use P3, where you can't deal with the first rifts, but you can repair bunkers for a long time. So you can hold on for dear life pretty well.
Yes, we can.
At 4 minutes, you have Banshees, Duskwings to kill the rifts, and they're invisible, so you get to pretty much snipe them free. Then later on, you make hit squads just like Nova and put like several around the map, and then when you get enough of them, then when you have enough Banshees, then you transition to battle cruisers. Then, getting to that point is the hard part. So I put Raynor in D if you go bio, but for I guess it could be C if you are, because it's the attack, the way you deal with rifts is similar to Nova. And the early game you have a bunker, so C.
How about you, Herman?
Okay. Definitely don't want to use bio for this one. There's just die. So it's
just die is what will happen to your bio.
Yeah, yeah, you probably also just and yeah, and also Marines are pretty bad against against Rifts as well. Yeah, Rifts has a one armor, and I mean your Marines they're pretty fragile. Yeah, just don't use Bio, please. Yeah, so here you want to use the third prestige. Yeah, it's just like Twotuuu said. It's like your Banshee is not that strong compared with Nova, but you have more attack range. I think it's 6+2, right? Like 8. I can't remember. When you're close, you have more range, and then you transition to battle cruisers who deal with objectives. But yeah, that's the hardest part for Raynor. And I just want to say, use your top bar well. Use your Hyperion well. Like you can
You have to snipe
like
the
you can
anti-air and the splash
yeah,
damage.
snipe in the air, and also you can use it to snipe rifts.
Also,
And
put point defense drones
yeah,
to
yeah, point defense drones. You must use that well as well. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not sure if he is C or D though. Because sounds like it's a lot of work, and not sure if it depends on AI though. Because early on, like I think you only have banshees for a long time, so not sure if he is able to deal with air, and if the enemy is like immortals. I don't. Yeah, because they're so tanky. Like they have 2 lives, and now I'm not sure if the bunker can hold them well, or we have a lot of banshee at that time though. So
ideally
yeah,
you would have
I
more.
think yeah I know. Yeah, but I'm just not sure if he's like C or D. But yeah, sounds like his early game is because you need to wait like 4 minutes for the
Yeah,
for
we did
your
make it
stuff.
abundantly clear that the early game is important. So D.
Well, I think maybe he is E tier, but he is definitely better than Kerrigan. That's what I'm
Yeah, I
thinking.
guess D plus. There we go. Are you okay with D22?
I forgot to consider the attack waves. Because when I played, I did not deal with the attack waves at all. So when in our run, I did not even consider that. So I forgot. Yeah, attack, like if you have to go back to deal with them, that your battle cruisers might be like off cooldown, or like teleport might be off cooldown because you just teleported to kill a rift or something. So yeah, I think D is okay. Also, you need to be like really good with your control.
You just need to be really good, period. Raynor is kind of like a commander who's really good when you're really good and really bad when you're really bad. Kind of, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
so does it matter? Do we want Rebel Raider for Raynor?
P3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Recommend prestige for Raynor, Rebel Raider. But why would you play Raynor? He's in D tier. Let's move on. Stet Boy, where do we have him?
Step Boy, I'm not sure like what I should say, but seems like QQO has did a lot of I mean he did a lot of Step Boys versus Roy Rift solos, and he used P1 actually, not P2.
You need godly control.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, I think I still recommend using P2 here. If you're not QQO, if you're QQO, you can definitely use P1 or any prestige if you want. So early on, he is like Kerrigan though.
Yes. Hang on
You
for dear
you
life.
yeah, you only have spies or zerglings, and I don't know if you can get the shield upgrade for your zerglings at 220. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't think
And
that would matter against the first enemies.
yeah, and you probably want to turn on green zones to deal with Tychus.
Definitely.
Yeah, and
I think your best bet is to make sort of like a mini wall, something to funnel enemies to maybe 1 or 2 spine crawlers. Hope it's like a melee enemy. Let them funnel to a tight choke point or around your spore crawler while they have drones behind repairing it. I think that's your best bet on surviving until Gary's out. Might be wrong, but that's what I
yeah,
would do.
kind of. Yeah, because you need to do a lot of work in early games, so you don't have enough econ to transform to Silver
Super Gary right
Gary.
away. True.
Yeah, right away. You kind of need to wait for a while.
Yeah.
And later on, I think so Gary is your main. I mean, your only unit you have.
Your
You
only
probably
unit.
your the only unit
He's the
you have.
guy.
Yeah, so he is like you need to like control your Silver Gary really well, and like for the far rift, you use Gary Zone to to just try to reach the one because it's too far. I mean, your satellite cannot reach there in that early. So yeah, it's just like micro and macro for Stepway in this mutation. And for objectives, I think you probably want to use. I'm not sure if Corruptor is fine. Like you can use Corruptor to snipe the shards. Or maybe you can use the infestors. I'm not sure. Like or just use like the normal army like Zerglings plus Hydra plus Ultralisk. I think all of them works, but you need to get there.
Yeah,
so
getting there.
I put I put that boy in C. But
Alright.
but I mean but his early game is kind of like Kerrigan though. So
Yeah. How about you, Twotuuu?
So how he differs from Kerrigan is that he can repair. So the repairing makes a big difference, and like you can survive so much longer. Green zone, like you're probably not gonna have a lot of links, but green zone helps. So if your allies fighting with units, then you can help that
immensely.
Sometimes your repairing drone gets shot by a marine or something. That healing is good, helps you survive. So just like that, he's much better than Kerrigan.
Yes.
I would use P2 also because later in the mid game you have hardened shield Zerglings, and that allows you to hold the center, like the enemies that trickle to you easily, and you just have you probably want like a hit squad in the ESO area, in the northern area, and then the rest are just like the rest of the Zerglings will just be running around on your side of the map until the middle is cleared, and then you have like most of the rifts will spawn in the middle by that point. So yeah, I put Stetmann in C.
Ooh, C. I actually had Stetboy in like B, but both of you have in C, so let's put him in C. Stukov. E. Let's move on. No, just kidding. Where do we have him?
Stukov. Stukov is not very good. He's normally bad against rifts because you need to use banshees or diamondbacks. Diamondbacks aren't bad here, but banshees are safer because you can hit the far ones too. So you have hit squads of banshees just like Raynor, just like Nova, except his banshees aren't as good, and you need to micro them more to like. It's not just decloak; you have to burrow them and stuff. That's a lot more work. Yes, his early game.
Just to be clear, we're assuming Frightful Flesh Welder here, right? We're not using Lord of the Horde.
No. Lord of the Horde is death sentence.
Lord of the Horde is asking for a carry. Let's get that straight. This mutation is very early game dependent. If you go Lord of the Horde, you're asking for a carry. Continue.
Yeah, so early game, he has nothing against the first two rifts. So you basically try your best to not die until 4 minutes when your Apocalypse and some Banshees are ready. But you can make a bunker, so that helps you not die. However, that doesn't help you win.
Yes.
So yeah, I put Stukov in D.
Oh, okay. How about you, Herman?
Well, I think maybe he's even worse. I think I would put him in E tier though.
I had him in E. He's just so awful. Maybe a D star if you're really good, but there's nothing.
He's just like, okay, so for Raynor, like, so for Nova's Banshee is not that easy to die. You have defensive drones, or it's just not easy to die. And for Raynor, if your Banshee die, you can just build another one and just use your rally point to drop there. But if for Stukov, it's usually like 2 Banshees for 1 spot. If you lose one, like it's kind of hard to put another one. Yeah, to replace it, because like you need to probably walk and do like a lot of shift click, and if you mess up the the micros, I think for Stukov Banshee that's a big problem for him, and I mean he doesn't have a lot of army early game. If you go into Banshees, like for attack wave, you probably can only use your top bars. So like 5 minutes, you probably want to use Alexander to deal with that wave, and 820 is probably the nightmare for Stukov if you don't if you don't split your Banshees.
I want siege tanks. Oh my goodness.
I mean you just need to be top of everything, and if you mess up once, you probably just die.
Like the Imitator.
So that's why I put him in E though. I think he is. He even didn't have a hero unit like Kerrigan. So I think he is even worse. So that's why I put him in E.
What do you think, Twotuuu?
I did not consider the replacing part, which is definitely something that can happen, because if you're like if you miss micro or like something appeared,
if you're you're a normal
Like
person.
the far ones, yeah, or like a trickle happened to be like walking by or something, and your banshee was low, and then it dies. Then you're just like replacing it so difficult. So
Yes.
yeah, and just being like weak early game and the mid game is just not that much better either. So yeah, I think E is reasonable.
All right.
I think it's fine.
There we go. Stukov down to E. There we go. Just stay there. Swann, where do we have him?
For Swann, he has really good static defense, so
Yeah.
he
You can hold on.
he can't die in early game. He cannot die in early game. Yeah, even though I think if you leave the rifts, like you can still survive like by using static defense. And 245 is the time you have your drill on. So you want to start fly your factories like to try to provide vision for your drill, and you can use your drill to drill the rifts. And you have, so if you're not using P1, you have a concentrated beam for rifts like every 3 minutes. You can use it on attack wave, but it won't kill them because
Yeah, they have double life.
Yeah, they will revive. Yeah, they have double life. So I think you probably want to use it for rifts.
Yes.
And what I want to say, it's just so you defend your base well, and then you use Hercules to like teleport and snipe rifts, and you can also like have like 2 SCV in your Hercules. So after you deal with the rifts, you can just build a belly there so that it can snipe some rifts later on. And then I think when you have enough, like when you're steady and you can just start massing raids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put Swann in B for this week. I think he is not that bad.
How about you, Twotuuu?
I told myself to put SCVs in the Hercules, and I didn't do it. I told myself like put SCVs in the Hercules so I can build blaster billies later,
In the
and I
area.
didn't do it.
Yeah.
The only thing, I also have Swann in B because enemy comp is kind of a problem. Unlike Karax where you can solar lance immortals to death, Swann against just die immortals is pretty rough. So like if you're fighting that, you need probably more floating factories just to make sure, and maybe like your wraiths you might want a squad at home and then one for the objectives just to deal with the attack waves. One thing you can hope for or try, it's random, but if you can line up a concentrated beam to take out 2 rifts, it feels great. It's really
It's
sweet.
skill shot. Nice.
Yes. I put him in B. So.
All right. Both of you had him in B. I had him in A, but both of you had him in B. So let's put him in B. We're using no prestige here, right? Or grease.
I use P2.
All right, we're using grease monkey.
Yeah,
all right, that's fine.
P1 is also fine.
All right.
Yes, but you cannot line up two rifts.
You can't concentrate beam. That's why I think P2 is better, but P1 is also okay.
Yeah.
Tychus, where do I have him?
So Tychus is the lone wolf is the Void Rift King, but even so, he can run into problems. So normally with this on this map, you can like for the third area, you can drop an Odin and nuke it, and everything is gone except for like the hybrids. But since they have 2 lives, you have to like continue fighting, and sometimes like there are a lot of enemies there, and you might not be able to kill all of them in one shot. So it's like a lot rougher. And if the enemy comps something like Reaver Disruptor, the fighting is like the attack waves are really strong.
Yeah.
Nux can hurt them, but like you have to micro a lot more to deal with them. As for the early game is fine because it's Tychus. You just survive until 3 minutes, and then even if they have like the waves from the rifts spawning, you have Tychus plus Sirius to take him out easily. So he's strong, but not as strong. So I put him in A.
How about you, Herman?
Yeah, I also put Tychus in A. Actually, I don't actually put him in S. The reason is that you need to know how to use Sam on this map really well. You need to know how to use Sam for this map. So because of Jesai, for the third set, I don't think you even want to use Odin there. Like because you use Odin there makes like nothing. Yeah, you kill them once, you kill all the enemy once, but then like they are still there, and you don't want to fight them again. And so you probably just want to so you have the first and the third gear for your Sam, and then you just use one medevac to go in, and you do you use super cloak, and you try to run to the position that Phoenix. Wait, what's that position called?
The top left?
The top left. You just want to run to there, and you probably need to use another medevac to try to reach there. Yeah, I don't think Sam can just go there like right away. You need to use your medevac to drop there.
Even with
and
the super
then
cloak?
yeah, use the super cloak and because I think Sam is like his size is big, so he cannot run to like the top left. Like you need to like lift your Sam and then drop to that position. And then like once Sam is there, you can just keep. So you use your ability on a shard, and then you press shift and go back to the position, and during the way you use your super cloak, so that the enemy won't attack you at all because you're super cloaking, and so that like you just keep doing that. But when you keep doing this, because your Sam is not on a map to snipe rifts, so you need like others to try to like replace his position. Like because Sam usually his responsibility is to kill the rifts, but like when you are using Sam to do this, it's like it takes like a long time. It's like 2 rift spawning time, it's probably like more than 3 minutes, I guess. Like when you're doing this, you just need to probably use other 4 outlaws to kill to deal with the rifts. And for the attack wave, if you only have 1 base, you probably don't have enough economy for Nox gear. But I don't recommend using 1 base for this one. Probably you need more econ, you need more gears for your outlaws. So if you have all gears for Nox, he is definitely like he can deal with all the attack waves for sure. Doesn't matter what kind of AI it is. So I put Tychus in A.
I actually had I actually had Tychus in S because like he's the best one for this. And like I'd like to have at least one. I had Cax and Tychus both in S. I'm okay with A, but it's kind of sad no one in S. Anyway, let's put Tychus in A. That's fine. Moving on. Zagara, where do we have him?
Zagara, she has a very strong early game.
Which prestige?
Actually. Third prestige.
Third prestige.
Only third prestige.
Only
the
third
other
prestige.
The other ones don't have deep tunnel.
All right.
So she survives the early game easily. And the first rifts. Actually, I take that back. If you don't kill one of the rifts, it actually gets kind of hard. You want to kill at least 1 rift, and hopefully your ally can get the other one. But if they can't, if 1 rift is alive, it gets a little bit rougher because you're gonna have to sacrifice econ. And but later on you get bio launchers in the center, and that'll take care of all the trickles and like automatically kill any nearby rifts. At least like you can target your bio launchers, just point them in the direction. Zagara can deep tunnel to all the farther ones and take care of those. So I put Zagara in B.
All right, Herman, how about you?
I also put Zagara in B. I just want to point out, don't forget you can use bio launcher to deal with objectives.
Yes, use bio launchers. Build them along the north edge of Player 2's expansion. Also, in that high ground area where the Earth Splitters go, they can target the 3rd set. For the 4th set, you can clear the other side of the high ground area where the Earth Splitters go. And then also probably the low ground area. Just before you go up the ramp to the last set, you could put bio launchers there. But barring that, Scourge might still work. If you lead it with some overlords to bait the fire, you could probably still right click some Scourge to it or something. I don't know.
Just watch out Vipers if you want to use
Scourge. Watch out for Vipers. Like I said,
and Storm.
Lead in with overlords to bait the fire, then right click the Scourge and take the path where you go through the fewest enemies if you want to go Scourge. But if you don't want to go Scourge, that's great. You have bio launchers. So
your bio launchers probably will be attacked by the Tychus because especially the one in the top of cloud. So you probably want to have some rings to defend them. Or you can just use Zagara to deep tunnel there to help defending. I also put Zagara in B tier.
All right, Zeratul, where do we have him?
Oh, Zeratul, your early game is not bad, but not that good, I think. So you have two ambushers for the first rift. But I think I don't know, like I think you probably want to use the Legion the Legion mastery to have like cheaper legions, and so after you two stalkers, you want to save to
560?
560 to have your first Zilloth Legion, and to deal with attack wave, and then to kill the other rifts, and then probably to kill something in the first set. Or you can just use them to help your
Ally.
stalker, yeah, help
Oh,
ally or help your stalkers to open the rocks.
yeah.
Yeah.
That'll work.
And at like 4 minutes, you have Zeratul is
Zeratul.
out, and yeah, Zeratul is the core unit, unit for Zeratul to deal with the rift. Yeah, because he have a lot of blink charges, and
You can just
and
basically chain teleport to the void shards, or yeah, the void rifts.
yes. But I mean, if you have the mastery for legions, you don't have mastery to for the Abathur, unless you
Yeah.
cheat. Yeah.
We don't
not
count
every
that.
attack wave. Yeah, yeah. And not every attack wave you have Abathur, but I don't think it's a big issue though. So you can just keep spinning like the enemy, but I don't mean P3 spinning though. So like you just blink in, spin, and then you blink back, and then you wait your cooldown, and then you blink in and
That's
spin
so
again.
micro intensive.
Yeah. Not really though. Like you just blink in, spin, and then blink
Yeah,
back,
but
and then
paying attention to your
Totally worth
cooldowns
it.
while macroing, well, I guess Zeratul macro is not as intense as the others, but like, that being said, there's still like stuff like void rifts. You still have to look at the minimap, your unit production. So yeah, that being considered, still a bit micro intensive, but still, what letter do you have him?
Okay. I have certainly A.
All right.
He is not that. Yeah.
How about you, Twotuuu?
I guess if you use the Legion, you kind of hope that you're in like the right spot.
Yeah.
Because Legion is gambling basically for the rifts. You have to like gamble that they're near.
No,
the...
I mean, you have two stalkers, and then you use your legion. Not use your legion right away.
Yeah, but your legion, so your stalkers will be in one spot, hopefully near one, and then your legion will be hopefully near the other one. But yeah,
I don't actually plan to use legion on the right on the other ribs. I want to use it like at our base to kill the attack wave
Rocks?
first, and
Oh,
then,
attack
like,
wave. Okay.
yeah, and then go to the other ribs. Yeah.
head towards there. I guess
Yeah.
if you kill them fast enough, I guess. The other thing is like your army is going to be mainly stalkers, but what do you use to kill the objective? Like, so you have a lot of
plus stalkers. Yeah.
So like you can use the what was it, the void prism,
Yeah,
the void array, and then
Demote
teleport.
everything.
I guess you can go in there. The normal the easy Zeratul void risk method is to use cannons, but you can't do that here because of just die. So I don't think he's as great. It's a lot harder than the AE commanders.
Yeah.
So I put him in B.
What do you think, Herman?
Does it make any difference?
Everyone's in B or C. My goodness.
Well, I mean, but for the time you go to kill the objective, it's definitely after you have your third artifact, you have your Abathur, and but I don't think it's not that it's that difficult.
Oh, I don't think it's the difficulty of the objective. It's just early on you need to like make sure your stalkers don't die while fighting. I guess it's not that hard, huh? Because they're so strong.
Yeah.
The second wave you have Zeratul already. I haven't tried this, so that's why I don't have a good perspective on this.
But maybe maybe we can put an A star for second.
I can see A though, because once he's out, it's like things just die.
So A star or just A?
A is fine, I think. Yeah, I think now that I think about it, it's not great. He's not.
All right.
The only part I'm not sure is whether to use the Legion mastery or not, because I don't know if we can have enough minerals for 2 stalker plus 800 or plus 560 for the I think it's about like 250 though, like when the attack will arrive to your home.
For P0 you can do 2 stalkers plus 560, but for Two you can.
All right.
Okay.
So we put him in A.
I think A is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did have Zeratul in A, but that's because I had Tychus and Carax both in S. So I guess I got that part accurate. Okay. So those are the tiers for this week. I don't suppose, yeah, there's no one in S. Who's the best in A? Tychus, right? It has to be Tychus.
Yeah, I think probably Tychus
Yeah.
is the easiest one. Like for Carax, like I don't know for you guys, but like keep clicking on wrist is pretty tired. Like, yeah.
It's tiring.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
for me
why I
it's
played
fine,
Tychus.
anyway.
Yeah,
So who's better between Carax and Zeratul? Carax? I did have
Right.
Carax in S, so yeah,
Yeah.
the two S candidates, top of A. Then Zeratul, okay.
Yeah.
Who's top?
I put
oh,
no one. I put no one in S because I don't think, like no one makes this mutation easy like other weeks with S's. That's why.
Who's
For me,
top of
at least.
B?
I mean,
Top of B, Manx, because he can.
Oh
kill
yeah,
them.
Arcturus, yeah. Yeah, Arcturus. I was thinking also Alarak and Swann.
Not as good as
Not as good as
ESO's.
Arcturus.
Just ESO's
Yeah.
not having to go
Alright,
inside.
I'm fine with
Yeah,
Arcturus
so
being
that's-
top of B. Okay, who's
yeah,
second?
Horner.
Hana
Oh yeah,
Hana.
Haden
and
Horner. I
Horner.
keep forgetting. Yeah, Haden Horner. I did have Haden Horner in A. Wait. Yeah, I did have Haden Horner in A. I guess Haden Horner's only problem is the attack waves themselves. When it comes time to engage the guys, they don't fare quite as well. That's why they're not top of. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Then after Haden Horner, Swann.
Swann's defense is pretty good.
Swann's
and then you
defense is
just
pretty good.
slowly, you can even concentrated beam rifts away.
Yes. Okay, Swann, and then Alarak or
Not
Zagara.
sure of Abathur.
Abathur?
Abathur just kind of depends on if enemy is Terran or not. I mean, it definitely depends on if the player knows how to.
I'm actually wondering
like,
if Abathur's
get
more of a
first
C this
clicks.
week, considering all the guys
Oh.
in B.
The
Like
thing is that once you survive the early game,
it
the
becomes
mid game becomes easy. Whereas the other one, it's still kind of like, you
slog.
still gotta,
all right. So okay,
I would say Alarak's guaranteed power in the early game is better.
okay. So fourth in B is Alarak, and then
Then
Abathur, then Zagara last in
Abathur.
B.
Abathur Zagara.
All right.
Yeah.
C, top of C. Ooh.
So it's hard.
Ooh.
This one's hard. Phoenix.
Phoenix, top of C. Oh yeah,
He's
early
like
game.
strongest.
The early game.
He's the strongest.
And then I think Artanis is also, yeah, Artanis might be decent here, especially with the Tempest thing.
Early game.
Early game, they are C for a reason. Let's not forget that they are C for a reason.
Yeah.
But when comparing them against each other,
Yeah.
Artanis might be decent for second in C.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Then Dehaka.
Dehaka?
Dehaka.
Okay with Dehaka. Yeah. Once you get past the
Yeah.
early game, so it's once you get your creeper hosts, there's gonna be a timer in Amon's face, and then Stetboy just because you can buff your ally with the zones and stuff, also provide vision for top bars. Nova's case
Nova
is probably
defense
Liberators.
drone.
Yeah, defensive drones also pretty good also. Liberators for the void shard sniping.
Not sure if these two which one is better. Oh.
I guess they're both kind of shaky in the early game.
Yes. For sure.
I guess Gary's a better anchor at least compared to Nova. Nova's good, but Gary might be slightly better because he has overcharge on the green zone, stay alive and stuff. Blue
The
zone.
mid game is a lot easier for Gary. 'Cause- Yeah.
So we
And
put
if you're like
Stetboy
out of
first.
position.
Yeah. I think we can put Gary next.
All
yeah.
right,
So Stet-
Stetboy, then Nova, then
Then Nova.
Vorzun. All right,
Yes.
D tier. Who's the better D?
Raynor.
Kerrigan or Raynor? Raynor? All right.
Raynor. Yes.
All right. And Stukov stays put in E. There we go, guys. Those are the rankings for this week. For synergies, there are a lot of synergies actually. Haden Horner and someone who can deal with attack waves. So Haden Horner Swann, very good combo. Haden Horner and even I guess Raynor or no, maybe not. Haden Horner and Stetboy, pretty good. Arcturus,
Dehaka Abathur.
Dehaka Abathur, yes. Arcturus and Haden Horner, they're definitely because Arcturus and Zagara, pretty good.
Anyone who's not in B, just C and below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The B people are pretty good, like throughout.
Okay. So people who are not in. Okay, C below. Synergies for C below. Artanis and someone who's good with rifts. Artanis and.
Isn't Artanis the one who's good with rifts?
Oh, no.
Dehaka.
Artanis is good with the map. You can just go around
Well,
with tempests.
The Tempest. Yeah.
I would say Artanis Dehaka. So Dehaka,
Artanis
like
Dehaka.
he moves, right? So you get vision of stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas the other ones, the heroes aren't out yet, but Dehaka's out by 2 minutes, and then you can see where the attack waves are.
Yeah.
So you can drop your Archon dudes.
Another synergy is probably Nova and Swann. Yeah, like no, if you want to use T3 Nova, yeah, you can do that. T3
Yeah.
Nova and Swann. Yeah.
Nova. Speaking of Nova.
I feel like looking at the shard while you're poking it is just a waste of time. Like you could easily do that with a factory. You can like nuke the enemies there, I guess, but you don't want to be the vision provider.
That's a waste of Nova's time.
Yeah.
Look at Nova. Just look at Nova's face, man. Does she look like someone who likes wasting time? No.
No. She's just
Vorazun.
coffee for 4 minutes.
Yeah. Vorazun and. No.
Probably more than Zagara.
Zagara?
Not sure.
Someone who's not
there
in
are
B.
some comments.
Guys are not in B.
Yeah, because I still remember once, like my Zagara is about to die, and my Alarak is Warzone, and I just borrow my Zagara and
Stood back to
she
peace.
she just go
The
back
death
to base.
recall. That's really
Yeah.
cool. That's very good awareness
Yeah.
of the situation. Dehaka and someone who can help him stay alive. Dehaka and maybe.
Stetmann, Green Zone.
Yeah, Stat Boy Green Zone. Yeah, Dehaka Stat Boy. Once Dehaka gets his creeper host out, there's a timer on anyone's face. So there we go. All right, that's gonna do it for this week. Watch Twotuuu and Herman's channels. I will link them down below, and I will see you guys next time.